I've heard from a lot of females saying bodybuilders are generally not good and bad.
It probably comes down to going on PEDs and then obviously coming
Yes,
off
of
and maybe
course.
doing things right or wrong.
What do you think Indian fitness industry is heading to? You find more growth here? Is there any bodybuilding steroid cycle which you can say is side effect friendly? You will not have any side effect if you follow this sort of routine. I have heard many incidents where people have used pre-workouts. After some days it is not affecting him. They increase the dosage, they have 2 scoops, and we have seen many incidents that BP shooting all of a sudden and you have heart attacks in the gym and then you have a death. In India, many young boys think that if they do masturbation, they're gonna feel weak in the gym. When they come to the gym, they feel that, oh, we're not able to lift that much, we don't feel the same energy.
If we talk not only about masturbation, even sex, yeah, I agree with that.
Every year we have increasing consumption of alcohol in India. The way to relax, what about smoking weed, Is it safe? What do you think? Or does it harm our body, or it can affect your bodybuilding performance?
So guys, if you want to do that, go to Thailand.
Hello everyone, welcome to Ultimate Gym Solutions, and we are ready for another podcast. And with me I have Jake Brle. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
And with me Alex, as usual, my partner in all the videos, whether it is training or podcast. And guys, we have just started this podcast series and we'll be coming up more like this with new guests every time. And this time we have Jake Brle. So guys, he's from England. He has been into bodybuilding for many years and he has represented many shows in England, and he also participated in Arnold Classic in England and he has won that competition. He has many pro cards and he's working in India as a contest prep coach. We had his workshop also at Pro Ultimate Gyms, and now today he's with us at the podcast. So it's going to be very raw. We're going to ask him a lot of questions and we're going to clear out all the myths you have related to bodybuilding.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the podcast. I'm sure you'll see a slightly different side of me, maybe.
Yeah.
If you've got some funny questions.
Definitely, many questions are coming. Yeah. So Alex, what do you say about this podcast?
Very glad, and we have special guest today. I'm sure that we are starting with the best guest what we can get in India for now.
He was after my life. Every third day he used to remind me, let's start with the podcast. Let's start with the podcast. And finally we are here.
I will introduce myself, guys, a little bit. So I'm basically a sport endocrinologist, hormone specialist. I'm also sport physiotherapist, and I'm a fitness trainer and dietitian. So I think I have quite good baggage to share with the audience, no?
Yeah, so obviously, so I've been, my name's Jake. Obviously, I've been bodybuilding for a long time, like 15 years. Run 2 coaching companies. One's kind of based in the UK, where we coach people in like the US, Canada, Australia, so on and so forth. And then we have a coaching company called In Shape Coaching, which is obviously based in India, which we kind of specialize in like elite body transformations and contest prep coaching. So obviously that's kind of the main reason I'm over here. I'm obviously running some education workshops around India. Obviously was fortunate enough to come into contact with Pro Ultimate Gyms, and obviously we've hosted one there over this past weekend, which was awesome.
Let's get started. And Alex, how do you find India?
Me?
No, sorry. Ask him. No. Alex find India super awesome. He loves Indian food. He loves so many things about India.
I discovered India a very long time ago, guys.
So what do you, Jake? How do you find India?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely great. Like, it's my 4th time here this time, and every time I come back, I'm come back for longer and longer. So yeah, I must enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
So what keep you drive here, man?
Purely business.
So how's your business is going in India? How it is?
Yeah, so obviously I think as you know, right, the fitness industry, bodybuilding industry in India continuing increasing. Obviously demand for gyms and everything. So I think it's a great time to obviously be here, obviously within this industry. And I think because there's such a big demand, it's obviously nice as well, right? Because you know that what you're giving, whether it be education, coaching, providing high quality gyms, it's obviously wanted and needed. So you're doing a kind of good service.
And what more you like about India? I want to, inner feelings coming out of you here. What more you like about India?
The people here are great, right?
Okay.
Just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that that's obviously hospitality here. Like even obviously getting in touch with you, and obviously then coming here, doing the event, being welcome to do the podcast and train and everything.
So tell me one thing. What do you think Indian fitness industry is heading to? Is you find more growth here?
I think it's like always a difficult one to predict the future, right? But I know when I came over here, like maybe like five years ago,
Okay.
I kind of predicted that, you know, I always thought that like here, especially in terms of like the fitness industry and bodybuilding, maybe it was like 10 years or so behind the West, right? So there was like certain things like online coaching, which at the time were kind of starting to really boom in the West, like in the UK, but obviously here it wasn't really a thing. Similar with like gyms like yours, right? It's like obviously in the West, like, you know, 5-10 years ago, you start to see a big increase in like really high quality gyms and the demand for that, because obviously there were more people that were getting into the industry and wanted it.
So according to you, Indian fitness industry will have a prime time now.
Yeah, I think
of growth.
I think for quite a while, really. I think even in the West, which is obviously, I think in terms of fitness is like ahead of here, even there it's still growing rapidly. So I think like probably India now is maybe at the start of
Yes, that's what
right?
think same. I think
Yeah.
the same.
Would you like to actually bring Indian bodybuilder to Olympia stage? Could you see any potential guy in India who could be at Olympia stage in future? Could you train him? Could you find the person who is like brilliant in India, the first one?
Yeah. So I definitely think that's a possibility, because I think especially in men's physique, like classic physique here, Olympian, obviously it's a massive goal to have, but I think, you know, if you get someone who's got the genetics for it, they're willing to do the work, and then obviously if you've got the relationship obviously as a coach and an athlete to obviously make that happen, then it's definitely possible, right?
I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of females saying bodybuilders are generally not good and bad. So what's your take on that?
Shifted right over. You sat there quietly waiting to change the topic area over.
What's your take on that?
I don't know. I've never slept with a bodybuilder myself, so it's hard to give that opinion. But I think again, it probably comes down to like obviously going on PEDs and then obviously coming off
of
and maybe
course.
doing things right or wrong, and then obviously that can, you know, impact things like, you know, sex drive and your ability to do all those things. I think that's maybe where that sort of thing comes from.
Yeah.
But again, I think it depends on the person, right? I think.
So the girls saying bodybuilders are generally not good in bed. So maybe you have met those guys those were in PCT, right? If you have met guys those who were on cycle, story would have been different. So always when you are dating bodybuilder, just ask him whether he is off cycle or on cycle.
just go for the
On the first date.
yeah.
On the first date, whether you are on cycle or off cycle, you'll come to know.
Then just, if he is off cycle, just wait for a month or two. It's okay, then you date him later.
You need to be patient, if he is off cycle.
It's, how are you going to pivot from that to something else now?
From my side as an endocrinologist and hormone specialist, I would say that there is no difference between bodybuilders and normal boys. Guys and girls, whoever listen us, don't go to that rumors. It's absolutely not like that.
Is there any cycle, any bodybuilding steroid cycle, which you can say is side effect friendly? You will not have any side effect if you follow this sort of routine.
I think like the overall thing with like using PEDs, right, is that if you use them in any way, shape or form, like above like clinical TRT, so it's like obviously if you're using it from like a medical standpoint, or if you're using like clinical TRT just to replace the testosterone that you are lacking, so you're kind of just bringing yourself to a healthy range of testosterone, then that would be, you know, kind of side effect free, and that would be actually beneficial to your health, right? So again, that's typically be something around, you know, 125, 150, you know, mg per week is what typically you'd be prescribed by a doctor for TRT.
If a man doesn't have, like, if you find a 40-year man who have never gone to gym and now he feels serious that his body is getting loose and he's gaining fat, he wants to build muscle at the age of 40, and you straight away start with TRT. So is he going to build muscles, or what do you think? Is he going to have a nice physique, or maybe not?
So like I was saying, I think with a guy who's maybe like 40 years old who has, you know, low testosterone, he's had his blood work checked and it's kind of, you know, very, very low, maybe, you know, under what it kind of should be. Starts TRT, you're going to feel obviously a massive difference of like libido, energy, and all the rest of it. So you're going to feel potentially like a 20-year-old guy again, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to suddenly create that shape of your physique. But it does mean that obviously it'll be far easier and far more possible for you to build a great physique and get in great shape and feel fit and healthy again, right? So
TRT mostly will bring only the positive impact on our body. As a male body created, we have androgen receptors all over the body, and it mostly works with the testosterone. And as testosterone is low, I would say that all body functioning will be low, the same. And when we get that pinch of TRT, we get better in any way. We have not better only in libido, gym performance, muscles growth, we also have better, our arteries work better, our blood flow, all the systems, neuromuscles connections, everything. So testosterone is so important for a male body.
So what I have figured out is he is in very much favor of TRT. And if he is a prime minister of the country, he can make compulsory after 30, 35. Everybody should be on TRT.
First, what I do, I always suggest you testosterone enhancement therapy. It's well done with the medicine. We never touch any injection.
Okay.
So for that, so it's just the medicine, and on that you can go very well. Believe me, we can try that. If you will not satisfy with that, you can go on TRT. But definitely TRT always in priority, I would say. Eventually, we have to use that method to keep our life on the same level like we've been before we were young. So I would tell you that it's really great idea to consider TRT or hormone replacement therapy as your future. When you get older, you should always come on there and try that method to stay healthy. Yeah.
spot on.
Yes, sir.
We are good.
Every year we have increasing consumption of alcohol in India, right? So how often you drink, Jake? You like alcohol?
Not particularly. Like, maybe like once or twice a year.
Just once or twice a
if
year.
it's a special occasion, but I'm a.
Then how do you enjoy your life?
But I'm like I don't know. I'm very much like an athlete, right? So
Yeah.
if maybe I wasn't, then I would probably drink a little bit more often. But I see why people do it. But just me personally, I just don't.
And how much does it affect our body?
I think again it depends on consumption, right? It's like anything in moderation is typically not bad for you, but obviously in excessive amounts, too frequently, too much at one time is obviously gonna, everyone who's drunk alcohol will know the difference between having like maybe 1 or 2 drinks and then obviously just getting absolutely wasted and waking up the next day like with a big hangover and all the rest of it. So again, I always find it's more so from like a productivity standpoint. Quite often, again, it can be pretty negative, but from a health standpoint, again, it really depends on how much you're drinking it.
So Alex, what's your take on alcohol? How much do you drink?
Yeah. I was thinking actually bodybuilders never drink. Something new. Okay.
So how much do you drink? What is your recommendation in moderation if like people like me want to drink a little bit, how much do you suggest?
Nothing can be so dangerous for you if you manage your dose. That's it, very simple. Better to use something else. I would suggest you go to gym.
So talking about something else is the way to relax. What about smoking weed? Is it safe? What do you think? Or does it harm our body, or it can affect your bodybuilding performance? What do you think?
But it's illegal in India, right?
What?
It's illegal in India, right?
In India, so many illegal things going on.
So guys, if you want to do that, go to Thailand.
So Alex, my question to you is, in India, many young boys think that if they do masturbation, they're gonna feel weak in the gym, and the day before or the same day they masturbate, and then when they come to the gym they feel that, oh, we're not able to lift that much, we don't feel the same energy. Is it mentally, or is this actually happens?
Yeah, from your experience.
Not from my experience, but based on science. If we talk not only about masturbation, even sex, yeah, it's good to be done at least one night prior to the workout. I agree with that. So it can have minor impact. It will never be too much. So, but minor impact it can have if you just have a.
You mean that it will not bring your 100 kg bench press down to 50 kgs?
Well, it depends on how much effort you put in, right? It's something that I've been asked so many times by clients. It'll be like either the masturbation one, or it'll be like, can I have like sex with my girlfriend or my wife? whilst doing this body transformation. It's like, go tell her no and see what happens. You know what I mean? I think it's like you said, right, it's perfectly fine to do. I mean, again, it's like if you're going in for like a heavy leg day and you're going to spend like however long having sex beforehand, maybe it's not a smart move in terms of, you know.
Yeah.
But again, it's definitely something that I've been asked so many times, and I think people overthink in terms of like the impact that it's going to have. But in reality, it's like just crack on, do what you want to do, and then, you know, obviously it's not going to make a big difference.
So let's talk about supplements a little bit. So Jake, what do you think that supplements when you're going to the gym are the most necessary ones which each and every person should be having if you are a regular gym goer, if you're going like 5 days in a week, and if you're at intermediate level? So these are the supplements that should be in your list, in your bag. What's your take on that?
So I think like from a supplement standpoint, people often think of supplements as the thing which is going to like improve your gym performance, right? But it's like the thing which will improve your progress and gym performance as a whole will be like your health and how well your body's functioning. So what you want to prioritize is things that are going to allow your body to function properly that maybe you are missing at the moment. So I know that quite often, funny enough, vitamin D in like a lot of the guys that we get blood work from here, vitamin D is really low, which you would assume wouldn't be the case because it's so hot, it's so sunny.
Yes.
But then, as you know, when it's hot and sunny, you spend all your time indoors, so you don't actually get any exposure from the sun. It's a massive deficiency. So like vitamin D is a big one. Magnesium is also like a massive one as well. It's like obviously one of the electrolytes that you kind of need. So again, magnesium. Having electrolytes generally within like your intra workout if you're training. So again, either like a electrolyte powder, but again, typically like it's going to consist of sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. That's obviously really important because that's why you'll find if people get cramps, it's usually a hydration issue. So it's either they are not drinking enough or they're not hydrated through having enough electrolytes. Multivitamin, for obvious reasons, you know, if you don't eat enough vegetables, use a good quality multivitamin. And then omega-3 fish oil is great for joint health, just general like cholesterol and things like that. And then creatine, again, it's like they're typically all like easy supplements to get, like relatively affordable ones as well, but I'd say they're probably the main ones. And then obviously if you want something like a pre-workout or something purely for performance, then it's great, but I'd say they're probably the main ones that I would kind of suggest.
So Alex, what's your take on the pre-workout? I have heard many incidents where people have used pre-workouts and someone feels that after some days it is not affecting him. They increase the dosage, they have 2 scoops, maybe 2.5 scoops. And we have seen many incidents that BP shooting all of a sudden and you have heart attacks in the gym and then you have a death. Is it safe to have pre-workout or we should avoid it?
As my point of view about the pre-workouts, I would avoid them. I would just have a cup of coffee or a cup of chai. It's a pretty great pre-workout.
I know you love chai.
Yeah.
That is your best pre-workout.
Yeah. So normally, guys, as my experience, I never did pre-workouts, and I would definitely never suggest you. I think that we don't know our blood pressure, and our blood pressure can fluctuate always. In case of doing heavy workout like extremely lifting and deadlifting, squatting, our blood pressure can spike up. And if you have any problem with arteries calcification, cholesterol problems, so we have some clots or maybe thick blood, in case especially we are talking about professional athletes, which blood is pretty thick. It's hematocrit grows above 55%. In that point, pre-workout can be one of the trigger of some plugs removed in your arteries and blocked, and then you get a heart attack or a brain stroke. So I would be very carefully of using pre-workouts and always use minimum dosage than even written on a jar, so into instructions. Some parts of pre-workouts are pretty good. As I said, it can be citrulline malate, it can be beta-alanine, it can be amino acids, especially if you are a vegetarian. It can be electrolytes that you can use separately. You don't need exactly to have that big amount of caffeine what contain the pre-workout, and 1 cup is pretty enough for everyone, believe me. And spend more time on your warming up. Yes, I always tell about it. Spend your time on your warming up. After good 10-15 warming up, you will feel like to work out in the highest level.
So Jake, how many cities you have traveled in India?
What, like all together, or like I think
You
this
remember
year?
the names or no?
Yeah, so
What all
I've been,
cities you have been?
been to Bangalore, Coimbatore, Goa, Chennai, Bombay, Surat, Ahmedabad, Pune, Delhi. Here
Chandigarh.
in Chandigarh, yeah.
Delhi.
Yeah, so yeah, Delhi. I think that's all of the like kind of main places that have been. So it's
So which city you found the most beautiful?
I think I don't know. I think everywhere has its like beauty, right? It's like some places might be a little bit more greener.
Yeah.
I think like places like obviously Bangalore, for example, for a city is like a really nice city. Again, places like obviously like Goa. Obviously, everyone knows Goa is like really nice and just relaxed. But then again, I think there's like also beauty in places like Bombay and Delhi. Obviously, with like all the people, there's a lot more going on, and it's I don't know. It's hard to say like which is the best, right? Because it's there's pros and cons about everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think everywhere has its. I don't really have a choice of that one. I have to say down south in Coimbatore in it. So
That's
have a choice.
very interesting answer actually.
Yeah. You like Indian girls, right?
My girlfriend's Indian, so
So his girlfriend is in Coimbatore. Now we got the answer.
Okay, now we got his secret.
Inner truth is coming out.
yeah.
Guys, now you understand why he's here, what he's doing, and prepping and all. Don't listen to that. He has a girlfriend in India. That's why he is here.
So do you have any plans of settling down in India in future?
Obviously, like I said, it's like at the minute I seem to be spending like half the year here anyway, so it's definitely something. Potentially, it's on the cards. Do you know what I mean? Over the next couple of years,
You'll
see.
figure it out.
We'll see. Yeah. At the moment, it's kind of ping pong in between the UK, obviously India, various other places. So
Right.
yeah, we'll see.
You've been used to doing workout in India. You've been here many times, and you've been doing workout in UK. So what is the difference between Indian gyms and gyms you have it in UK?
I think here there tends to be more gyms, but the gyms tend to be smaller, right?
Okay.
So it's like in the UK there tends to be less gyms, but the gyms are just much bigger. In the UK, it's like I was saying that I think the industry's further ahead there, right, than it is here. And it's like there used to be lots of smaller gyms like there are here, and then I think those gyms got kind of better and better like they are at the moment. And then eventually it kind of got to the point where, you know, you had some big brands like yourselves kind of thing get to the point where they almost started to take over, create bigger and bigger gyms, and then obviously that creates the competition, right? So when you have competition of big gyms, other people have to also make big gyms, and then I think that's probably how it kind of panned out in the UK. It's probably the biggest difference. And then obviously the temperature's different in the UK, so you don't have to worry about it being hot. Obviously, if it's not an air-conned gym here, it's a bit difficult to train.
Centrally heated gyms you have there.
Yeah. We have heating in our gyms. You have aircon, right? So
Yeah.
a little bit of a difference.
So how much usually on average gym size you have to pay? How much fees you have to pay in UK
It
for
depends.
gym membership?
Yeah, I'd say probably anywhere between maybe 20k to like 50k.
Indian rupees?
Yeah, Indian rupees would be like your typical monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah, like
20,000 to 50,000?
Yeah, because we typically do like a month-to-month basis. We don't do like the packages that you obviously
You don't
do
have
here.
packages there?
No, it's just not really a thing. Like sometimes you can do maybe a year up front, but typically everything in the UK is month to month.
Okay.
So you would typically just have a monthly recurring gym membership of maybe, like I think my gym is maybe like 50k per month.
Per month?
Yeah, and then maybe you would have, is it 50k? Yeah, it'd be like 50 or. No,
Is it like 500
5k, it'd be 5k.
5k?
5k.
Okay, I was thinking 50k would
That'd be a
too
lot.
much.
That'd be a lot, yeah.
It was like so costly.
I was thinking that in my head. I was like, nah, that's actually like, that's potentially like.
I say 5k per month.
Yeah, that's a good.
So it's like 500 pounds a month.
Between 20 to 50 pounds or dollars per
20.
month, right? So it's like 2 to 5k
Okay.
per month would be a membership, and then obviously you have your premium like health clubs, which have swimming pools and stuff, which may be like that may be like 10, 15k per month, right? But
And how much personal training costs there if you want to hire a personal trainer?
maybe between like 3k to 5k probably per session. I would say is probably an average, depending on where you live. Obviously, if you live in London,
Yeah.
double that potentially. So
you worked as a personal trainer there or not?
no, so I've purely been online since I started. So I started online at university, been online ever since. I've never actually been a gym floor trainer, and went purely into online.
So what is your future vision? Like you're working in India, you're working here as a contest prep coach, you're taking workshops. So what is your exact vision? Where you want to be?
Well, the master plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I think again, obviously trying to grow the coaching business here. It'd be great to have like a really like successful coaching business for like, athletes, like high level transformations, obviously, you know, within the country that everyone's kind of aware of, like as a brand. Again, obviously similar to like what you've done with the gyms, right, is you maybe start smaller and build up to you kind of become, you know, recognized. Similar to that, which I think we're like on the way to doing. And then obviously with the education events, like I was kind of saying, I think there's a big demand for the education here. It's like very much needed. So I think that ties in well with the coaching. I'd love to be able to kind of do events all around the country, be able to, again, obviously educate people all around the country. And then obviously from that, potentially build like an education side of the business through that as well.
So what is your fees for coaching?
Depends. You have to inquire, find out on DM me on Instagram and you'll find out.
So he's not comfortable telling here, but you can DM him and he will tell you personally, right?
Yeah.
Alex, my question to you is, like, if some person is around maybe 35, 40 and all of a sudden he feels motivated enough that he needs to have a nice physique and he approaches you and he says, in 3 months I want to look like a Tiger Shroff, you know, some Bollywood celebrity. If that guy approaches you, and so what's you going to be take on that? You're just going to start with it, and how usually you start? Like, if anybody wants to cycle.
Yeah, as Jake said, that even we can discuss budget personally. So the same things in me, like I prefer to get individual contact with the client and understand his body conditions, what is his health stage, of course his age, any injury he got before, and I want to listen what kind of goal he has. According to that, I will make my plan, but 3 months. You are kidding me? Tiger Shroff.
Everyone wants results in 3 months. You know? Everyone wants 3 months transformation.
Guys,
it is so common. You see YouTube, you see many coaches saying 3 months, I'll make you like this. 3 months, you'll be like that. They're showing results. 3 months, client was like this, and 3 months is like that. You know, you see it on social media.
Guys, I shall tell you clearly, I can make you for 3 months look like Tiger Shroff, 100%. But I will use for that PEDs. I will use a very, very strict diet, and everything will just harm your health. It will not be healthy. You can look like that, but it never be healthy.
So Jake, I'll ask few personal questions.
Yeah, go for it. I've been sitting there thinking.
So, what's your body weight right now?
So I think now maybe 105 kilos.
105 kilos.
105
and
kilos.
What is your fat percentage?
Too fat. Yeah, I'm not, because I don't really measure body fat. I just know if I look like I'm holding a bit of body fat or if I'm not, if that makes sense. So I know that, you know, if I was to cut down for like 12 weeks, I'd be able to get very, very, very lean. So I'm kind of lean enough to be able to do that.
And what all it takes to build a lean physique and to be like you at 105 kg and still look so lean? What all it takes?
I think like the muscle mass is important, right? So it's like a lot of the time, it's like you were saying with like 12-week or 3-month transformations. It's like I have a lot of athletes that will do 3-month transformations, but they've spent, you know, 5, 6, 7 years building the muscle mass up beforehand. So that then when they cut down, you know, they've got all the skills and the experience, they've got all the muscle mass to be able to remove the body fat and look really impressive. So it's like, again, I think the number one thing is that if you want to achieve like a really impressive physique, you have to spend the years building that foundation, building the physique up, which is what most people kind of, you see what's actually underneath.
And what all salts you have used till date?
Well, PEDs.
Yeah,
absolutely. Again, I've only been enhanced for maybe like three years.
Okay.
So, and I've not
3 years continuously.
So obviously I've had breaks in between, like obviously with like health phases and stuff. But I think it's around about three years, maybe a little bit less, that I've been on PEDs and been enhanced. And I haven't done any contest preps yet. It's just been an off season. So again, like in terms of like orals and stuff like that, it's not something that I've had to use. I haven't really had to use anything specific to contest prep. So again, it's just pretty much it's like your basics, which is a famous thing that Ronnie Coleman said, I think, and then he went on to list a lot. But again, just like test either like Masteron or Primo. This is kind of all stuff that we talked about in our like obviously workshops as well, right? It's kind of you know, primarily it's been things like testosterone, Masteron, and Primo. I've used like a little bit of like MPP and like Tren before, obviously in certain situations when I've been kind of cutting down. Used growth hormone, which again, obviously is not really a PD, but again, it's obviously used within bodybuilding. So things like this I've obviously used, but again, it's especially with like my goals being like kind of long-term goals. I've tried to keep things as minimal as I possibly can, whilst kind of getting the best reward for it, right? Because it's
Yes.
all this is a long time game.
So Jake, how was your experience over here coming to Ultimate Gym Solutions? You must have seen our equipments, our staff. What's you gonna say about it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've already spoke to like some of your staff about it, but in terms of my interaction initially, obviously how everything's been, like obviously you've got a really great team, right, which I think makes all the difference in a place like this, especially for people that are, you know, obviously wanting to set up their gym or wanting to do business with you. I always say like it's the team that makes the difference, right? Like
yes,
even if you have like the best equipment and things like that, if you have a bad team, obviously, you know, that causes problems, but you have like the fantastic team. So I think, yeah, that's obviously probably the number one thing that I've noticed. And then again, obviously, you know, being like the headquarters, obviously training in like your gyms themselves, seeing the equipment, everything is like to the highest standard, right? Which I think is just a representation again of obviously yourself and the team that you've got. So I think, yeah. So again, it's like looking around here, right? Obviously going to the gyms, the variety and the amount of equipment that you have is absolutely massive. You have like, you know, hundreds of machines for every single body part. So I think, you know, any gym that was like looking for any piece of equipment, I'm sure that they would be able to find whatever they're looking for, obviously with you guys. And again, obviously having tried a lot of the machines out as well in your gyms, you know, all the machines are like super well made. Obviously the biomechanics and stuff from them are fantastic. So again, it's like you've got all the equipment, really high quality equipment, and you know, anything that people will need is definitely, you know, the best place to go.
Thank you for the kind words.
I would like to add to what Jake said. Like, I've been working with Pro Ultimate Gym Solutions pretty short amount of time, I would say, till now. But I have amazing experience and a very positive experience. As I am ambassador of this brand, I would say that machines, I taste all the machines, believe me guys, and that machines, some of them very unique. So just put it in your home, you can just give it like small place like we are sitting here, just one machine, and you can perform all the exercise, you can complete your full body, you can even invite your personal trainer to your home and he will train you over there if you don't know that much knowledge. But we have machines here which you can perform like 100 exercise, 200 exercise. It's so knowledgeable. It's also like perfectly done with the design and the engineers working on that highest level, which give you the most comfort with the machines. I feel definitely cool, and you will continue to see me to work in here, see my exercise, copy them, enjoy, and always go with the Pro Ultimate solution, because I am sure the quality is here the best. From my side, very big respect to Jake. His positive feedback and his actually energy brought us like on a new level today. So we covered it, very beautiful training together. I would love him to see again here, to see in our company and as a guest, as our friend already, and definitely we'll see him again here. All right, Abhishek here. Thank you so much to organize it all.
So thank you so much guys for watching this podcast, and I hope you must have enjoyed it thoroughly. You must have gained so much exposure, so much knowledge from what all we talked about. And if you want us to make more podcasts like this, do let us know in the comments that you're liking all the content what we are making and you want more podcasts should be coming up. So we'll plan more celebrity guests like Jake with us in upcoming future. If you think our channel has added value to your life, if you think our channel has provided you some sort of knowledge, do subscribe and share it with your friends as well. So signing off from Ultimate Gym Solutions with Jake and Alex, and see you soon next time.